Shabbat Shalom and welcome back here to our beautiful and lovely gathering every Shabbat. It's a blessing, like always, to be with you once again and to spend this time together in the presence of YaHuWaH while we study His Word in the amazing book of Jeremiah, Yirmiyahu. This is the third portion already?
Yeah.
It's the third portion in this book.
Yeah, we are going to read from the chapter 7 and 8. Yeah.
Yes.
7 and 8, yes.
So we will continue seeing and studying what are the words that YaHuWaH revealed to Yirmiyahu in such an important time that every time that we read, every time we study those words, it's so easy to see that the times that we're living is so similar to the times we're living today.
So the words that were intended for them, we have to open our ears because most probably are going to be messages and words that are also intended that we can take it into our hearts, examine our lives, and check if we are also the people who need to receive that message from YaHuWaH.
Yes, I think it's an important word, and I think somehow you took the words out of my mouth because I was going to share something that is exactly what you say, but I was going to share it in the scriptures, so I will put the scriptures anyway. So
Okay.
you see, we are connected. That's the Ruach HaKodesh. So we see 27 of you connected here with us. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let's keep prayer for everyone. So this message is going to more people, that to the people that YaHuWaH is preparing. That's what we need to pray. We need to pray for endurance, for strength, for emunah, for faith. These are exactly the things that we need in these days.
For energy. I think that our Shabbat are the more expected day during the week. It's like we are right there like crawling. I don't know. It's like we're exhausted and then we can renew our energy during Shabbat.
Yeah. You know, by the end of this study, I will share with you a video. I was taking a look yesterday in natural medicine and was showing it to Lillian this morning. I know I don't want to do it now, just to focus in the portion in the scriptures, but stay with us until the end. I will let you know what is it about and share the link. Again, it's about natural medicine, and I think we are seeing interesting things happening in these days, and I think that video somehow is a testimony and evidence that the YaHuWaH has been doing something, even with us, and that he's doing more things. I will say the words for the end. So I think it's going to be an important information for everyone. So you said today we are in the portion, we are just counting up. So I don't know when we're going to reset it, but it's the portion 101. Is this like a 101?
101.
It's like
a title, like a kind of a study?
Yeah,
no?
yeah. It's basic 101.
101.
Yeah, that's the way people use it. So it's the portion 101, and as you said, this is two chapters, chapter 7 and chapter 8. And we have titled this is YaHuWaH not in Tsiyon. And I think this question, I didn't tell you, I was just taking a look on what title to put, and this just popped up and I started to look in somewhere else, but no, put this one.
Okay.
So that's why I put this one. Is YaHuWaH not in Tsiyon? And while we are going to read and study these two chapters, I think it's going to become even more relevant, this question. Not thinking only on the physical place, thinking actually
we can replace Tsiyon. We can put something else.
Let me say it in a different way, because it's not the physical, both are physical and both are spiritual. It's not the geographical place. that could be, as you said, applicable.
Yeah. I was going to say, is YaHuWaH not in me?
Yes. That's exactly, that's why what I felt when I saw that question, this is it. And that should be the question we are always, we should always be asking, is YaHuWaH not in me?
Not in our family, nor in our community, nor in our world.
And as we have been discussing since always, this is increasing and is applicable to, to the inner being, as for us as individual, for us as families, as marriage, then as family, because that's the way that this is, circles are going.
Yeah.
Is concentric circles going and growing and involving the bigger one, involving the smaller ones.
Like an onion.
Like an onion, exactly. And then as a community, then as a country, then as a world, then Jerusalem, people of YaHuWaH, in different aspects. So I think it's an important question. Is YaHuWaH not in me? Is YaHuWaH not in Tsiyon? YaHuWaH for sure is in us. But I think there is an important difference between having YaHuWaH in us, within us, or not. Because we are His creation. Every cell, every air we breathe, every word we say, every thought we have, every light that goes into our eyes is coming from Him, is Him.
Yeah.
But that's one thing. And the other one is that He's really dwelling. Indwelling.
Yeah, because it could be in kind of percentages. It's not the same having YaHuWaH 20% that having Him 100%.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, a dwelling. Being a dwelling place and He dwelling.
Prepare and dedicate it for Him.
Yes. I'm gonna give an example. When I came here alone in June. This house
was different, was empty.
Yeah, I told you that. It's part of you and you are part of this. Your clothes and the many other aspects. It's you. But you were not here.
Yeah.
And that's the main difference in the question.
Yeah.
YaHuWaH, we belongs to Him. And this body and this being is part of Him.
But we need Him.
We need Him, His presence dwelling in us. And I think that's the most important thing on the question. So, I think, first, I will have to say it. But first, I would like to ask you, please let us know if the sound is good enough. Again, as you can see the background, we are
in the south,
commuting between different places. So let us know if it's the volume is okay, if you can hear us well before we continue. Sound is perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much. So I will share this with you, and I was not planning to do it, and you asked me, but I think we need to say. I don't know how many of you are aware of this, and we just got the news 1.5 days ago.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, I was in a working session or with people of my office. And at the moment, I didn't tell you this, at the moment I saw it, I had to close my eyes and to contain myself not to cry. Because it crushed my heart. And when we read it again yesterday, it was exactly the same. And what I'm talking about is that we received the news, and thank you, Karen, for let us know that Sheila Esquiva passed away this week. I don't know the details, but I don't know if she was sick or facing some disease. Oof. have the opportunity to know her in person. I had the chance, similarly to what happened with Rob, to have some video calls and to have the chance to talk to each other after Rob passed away when we were doing Virtual House Church. And even I was sitting here in the same place when we were having some video calls. And but as we have been sharing always, and I think that's the feeling. Thank you, Karen. Now we know the reason. We don't need to know each other in person to have this connection, this love that is coming pure from the heart. And this is a reflection of what the Ruach is doing, is the reflection of being children of Elohim. That even though that we are in different places of the world, different cultures, different language, different stature, or different shapes, there's something that has been born in us, been written with the finger of Elohim in our hearts, and that's the love for one another. And as I said, we knew about this sad news, and we were crushed, and we're still feeling it, and we need to keep Rob and Sheila's son in our prayers. So he can continue in the way of YaHuWaH as Rob and Sheila when instructing him, that he can be
YaHuWaH's path.
And be guided by YaHuWaH and by the people that is surrounding him. And in the same way, we are living in so difficult and sometimes changing times, is that it's so important that we need to pray for one another, even for those that we don't know that are part of the family of YaHuWaH. And maybe people we don't know their names, but we know that they exist. We need to pray for them. And when I say pray for them, sometimes it's not necessarily, and don't take me wrong with what I'm going to say, it's not necessarily that we need to spend 1 hour, 2 hours in dedicated prayer in our prayer closet. It's just to, sometimes YaHuWaH is implanting those thoughts in our minds, and the Ruach is allowing us to remember the need of praying for somebody. And it's just to hold on that thought, and in that moment, it's just few seconds, minute, just thinking and praying in our minds. That will change a lot, because when those moments comes, is because YaHuWaH through his Ruach is doing something, because somebody is in need of prayer, and it's like it's like an alert. It's being broadcasted to all the children of Elohim, and maybe those that are attentive in that moment, maybe it's not going to be everybody, but it's a broadcast signal from YaHuWaH, and those that are somehow connected at that time, they're going to get the signal, and we are being called up. We need to take it and pray. For sure, we need to find those moments of isolation that are so needed, when we need to pray to YaHuWaH. We need to try to disconnect ourselves from the day to day. This is a so much need habit, and let me put it in that way. It's a habit, and that is being born by the hunger and the thirst of having this relationship with YaHuWaH. we need to have those times of isolation, and in those times, for sure, we need to remember and we need to lift out our voices for everyone. Family of YaHuWaH, we know our own family here in this world, and family of YaHuWaH, as I said a minute ago, of that even we don't know, but we know they exist. In order to endure until the end, in order to be protected and to be sustained by YaHuWaH Sebaot in this time of trials, in these end times, in order to be found worthy as a body of Mashiach, to endure until the end and to go through the times we are living. This is the least we can do, and we are being called to do that. So in those times of isolation and intimate relationship with YaHuWaH, and even in those times that he's just sending this, and I like the term, this broadcast signal, that if we're attentive, we are gonna get it, and we need to recognize that this is coming from YaHuWaH, and we need to answer the call. I don't know, you want to add something?
That it's really amazing sometimes when we think about somebody. Sometimes it's because they're thinking about us too, maybe, and maybe we are busy, we're doing something, and then days goes by, and if the person is still there, is like again the thought about them. I think that is something beautiful. We need to pray for them. We need maybe to reach out. So we are Echad. I think that how Abba created us is like our bodies. Sometimes you can pinch here and you're going to feel the pain in some other place, or some kind of electricity or things like that. So we're connected. So that's the beautiful thing about how we were created. And I think that YaHuWaH just wants us that we can project that love, that mercy, that the things that are coming out from our heart and from our minds are good thoughts toward the rest. So,
and I think this portion that we're going to study today is special for what you have said. It's the status, the condition of the heart.
And he wants us to be healed. He wants us to be okay. He doesn't want us to be suffering all the time. If we need to suffer, it's going to be just for a little time, because we know that the result is going to be something that we are going to enjoy at the end. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So having said that, let me share this song with you, and then we move right away to the portion.
Yeah. Welcome everyone, every single one.
And Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
That's a beautiful song. Let's pray. YaHuWaH Elohim, we want to give thanks to you once again in this day, in this Shabbat, for everything you do for us, for your people, for this generation of your people, Israel. First of all, thank you, Abba, because if we are alive, because of your desire, because that's the intention of your heart, which is moved by love and compassion. Thank you, Abba, because you are the one sustaining us, providing to our needs. And we recognize that everything comes from you, because you are the source of everything. Thank you, YaHuWaH, because you were the one awakening us to your truth, taking our hands in order to come back to your ways, to your path. And you allowed us to see that path and see your Mashiach, Yahushua, our King, inviting us to follow him in this path of hope, expectation, salvation, and eternal life. Thank you, Abba, because despite any difficulty, despite any trial, persecution, we have been able to endure until this point, walking in your ways. Many times we fail, Abba, but you have written your Torah in our hearts, and you have put your fire, the fire of your Ruach, within us, who is constantly reminding us the need to be close to you. He is every day reminding us the decision we made to resign to the system of this world and to come back to you and to serve you. And here we are, once again, lifting up our voices in gratitude for everything you do for us, and in prayers for YaHuWaH, asking that you can forgive us, that you can cleanse us, that you can help us and show us what we have to do in order to put things in order and our house in order, so we can be a worthy dwelling place for your presence. Because we want to invite you, and we want to ask you that you can dwell within us, because we are the temple of your Ruach. Guide us to clean this house, to remove anything that is contrary to your truth and to your righteousness, so we can be found worthy of the salvation that you brought by the hand of your Son Yahushua. Thank you for this group, for this flock. And even though we don't know all of us in person, you have created that such love within us, and that feeling of being one, Echad in you. And this is something you have done, Yahuwah. I want to pray in this moment for those who are not here, that maybe are going through tribulations or any type of disease, that you can touch them with your hand. Yahushua, provide healing with your mighty hand and your love. bring restoration of hearts, of bodies, remove any trauma, so that the heart and the mind are clean and reflecting your love and your power. YaHuWaH, guide us in everything we're going to do today. I thank you for your presence that is in our hearts. And thank you for your Ruach. And we ask you, Abba, that you can speak through us and to us, to our hearts. Show us the message you want to deliver today, so we can receive your word in the way that you have intended in your hearts, so we can learn your truth and be prepared even better as a witnesses of your kingdom and your righteousness. Here we are, YaHuWaH, use us for your kavod. And thank you all. We pray in this moment, and we do it in the mighty name of your Son, YaHuWaH HaMashiach, our King.
Amen. Oof.
Okay, so let me share this passage with you before we go to the portion. And these are the words you took out of my mouth. And I think it's important to keep it in mind before reading this chapter 7 and 8 of the book of Yirmiyahu. And these are the words of Shaul. He wrote the letter to the Corinthians, 1 Corinthians chapter 10. And it says the following, beginning on verse 1. For I do not wish you to be ignorant, brothers, that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and all were immersed into Moshe, in the cloud and in the sea. And all ate the same spiritual food, and all drank the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed, and the rock was Messiah. However, with most of them Elohim was not well pleased, for they were laid low in the wilderness. And these became examples for us, so that we should not lust after evil, as those indeed lasted. And do not become idolaters, as some of them. As it has been written, the people sat down to eat and to drink and stood up to play. Neither should we commit whoring, as some of them did. And in one day 23,000 fell. Neither let us try Messiah, as some of them also tried, and were destroyed by serpents. Neither grumble, as some of them also grumbled, and were destroyed by the destroyer. And all these came upon them as examples, and they were written as a warning for us, to us, on whom the end of the ages have come. Everything we see in the scriptures is something that indeed happened, but it was written not only for the people of the generation that the word was given. As Shaul understood, and he also mentioned here, those examples as for us, so not to fall into the same mistakes. And everything we will see now in the chapter 7 and chapter 8 of Jeremiah is somehow the same message, is what the generation did wrong, so we don't follow the same mistakes. And we are found worthy to stand before the Lamb. So let's go to Jeremiah chapter 7. And let's begin. It says the following. The word that came to Yirmiyahu from YaHuWaH, saying, Stand in the gate of the house of YaHuWaH, and you shall proclaim there this word, and shall say, Hear the word of YaHuWaH, all you of Yehuda, who enter in at these gates to bow before YaHuWaH. You know, something we didn't discuss earlier. Stand in the gate of the house of YaHuWaH, and you shall proclaim there this word. If we understand that the house of YaHuWaH is this body as well, do you remember what are the gates? So it's so interesting. Is proclaim this word from the gate. So in this case, Yirmiyahu was chosen to provide this message from the house, the physical house, the temple. But you know, if we assume that we are servants of YaHuWaH and living in similar days as Yirmiyahu was living, this is the temple, this is the gate. So we need to proclaim the words, and maybe exactly the same words that Yirmiyahu received at that time. So that said YaHuWaH Sebaot, the Elohim of Israel, make your ways and your deeds good. Then I let you dwell in this place. Do not trust in these false words, saying, this is the Hechal of YaHuWaH, the Hechal of YaHuWaH, the Hechal of YaHuWaH. For if you truly make your ways and your deeds good, if you truly do right ruling between a man and his neighbor, if you do not oppress the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, and do not shed innocent blood in this place, or walk after other mighty ones to your own evil, then I shall let you dwell in this place, in the land that I gave you to your fathers forever and ever. So maybe we can comment here on what's going on. Do you want to begin?
No, I think that it's important that it was addressed to the house of Yehuda, Jerusalem, to us, to everybody, but it's saying like a rhetorical, or like is with this word is making you think about what you are not doing, because he's giving you the correct answer, because he said, if you truly make your ways and your deeds good, if you truly do right ruling, if you truly do this and that, is because they were doing maybe things in a bad way, or they were not doing things at all. So you have two possibilities, because it says truly, so maybe it was just doing things for doing it, like this, like, okay, I'm going to give this
they were doing it from the lips, but not in reality.
Not in reality.
Not from the heart.
But also it could be that they were approaching to the temple, to the tabernacle. They were going there to do, I don't know, all the activities that they wanted to do, offering to YaHuWaH. But what was the reality when they were in their work, when they were sharing at home, when they were maybe speaking with some neighbors? What happened in the rest of your days? Is only when you are here, when you are there with YaHuWaH? So it's all the time. And it's the ways too. It's not only your action, it's the way. What are the places that you are going to visit? What are the places that you are going to go through? How you are going to arrive to that place? So a lot of that.
Good. And I think it's important to mention the reason we believe YaHuWaH gave this message in verse 4 to Yirmiyahu. When he's saying, do not trust in these false words, saying this is the Hechal, the Hechal of YaHuWaH. He's saying that those saying that this is the Hechal were saying false words. And in the way that I understand this is, I do believe that they were hiding somehow, or not hiding. They were justifying their behaviors by saying, we have the Hechal. Elohim, the maker of the heavens and earth, is with us. So I'm coming to the temple. I'm going to be forgiven of my sins with the slaughtering. So, but the Hechal is here. Elohim is here. I'm justified to do whatever I want. And actually, maybe you can give us the same examples you told me about the type of justification people are using today. But there's some there's some example that Mashiach provided in the Brit Hadashah in the New Testament, when people were coming to him saying, but who were the more sinner or sinning more than the others, those one that they were dying because of this or because of that. YaHuWaH was making it for them clear: sin is sin. It doesn't matter. For sure there are sins that of death and another sins that are not of death, and this is clearly written in the book of in the first letter of John. So, but Messiah YaHuWaH was clarifying for them. They had a really wrong concept in the same way that we see here with these words. And even I don't remember, it was in the same chapter, in the same book, but in one occasion YaHuWaH was even expanding in the true concepts. When the people were saying, I'm going to swear because of the temple. And he was saying, okay, but what is more important, the temple or the gold of the temple? So what's the point I want to make? And you told me about this, and I agree with the interpretation, is that the people, as I said, were justifying, saying, the temple is so important, and YaHuWaH decided to put this temple here because no matter how I am,
he loves me anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great deception. That he loves me anyway. So no, he loves you when you are doing what he's commanding you to do. That's the way that we are loving him, and he's going to love us back. And what I was thinking about when it says this is the Hechal, and I was telling you that maybe is what is being said to Jerusalem. Jerusalem always is saying, we are the people of YaHuWaH, we were chosen, so we are going to behave in this way, but YaHuWaH is going to support us. And we can see that is not that is just a wrong statement, because from that place is coming out a lot of things that are against YaHuWaH. So he's not happy with Jerusalem at this moment, and for a long time, because a lot of sin is coming from there. So we have to pray for the Jerusalem that he intended, that he's waiting for. But it's not the Jerusalem that we know today. And it's sad because they think that because they are the chosen people, they have the right to do a lot of things. We know that a lot of thoughts about the equality is coming from there. I'm talking plainly, homosexuality and things are coming from that place. Also, oppression is coming from that place. A lot of wars, a lot of the evil is coming and hidden in a lot of ways, and it's expanding, taking control of everybody. So they have a lot of knowledge, but they're using it the wrong way. So that is the sad part. So we cannot say, it's because what they are doing is okay. No, we have to check and compare. This is what YaHuWaH wants us. This is want us to do. This is what YaHuWaH is expecting, and see. And that's why he's asking these questions. Check what you are doing. If it's good with me, or is good according to your own evil. So
let me expand that, because you referred to a specific group of people or a specific place. No, it's okay. It's okay.
About the church.
No.
Okay.
I want to expand this about us. Pride is so subtle that we can be feeding, even without noticing. We can be feeding some pride that we have, keeping so hidden within us, and it could result in the same way, as we see here, and you were explaining about this other group of people, is that we are so sure about the decisions we have made to follow the ways of YaHuWaH. We can feel so sure sometimes that we are the ones keeping the commandments. We are the ones that keeping Shabbat every week. So we are so certain about our salvation, about our destiny, about our hope. But maybe because we are keeping our trust in those things, we are having a blind, completely blind eye to things that we are not doing okay. That we are not truly made our ways and our deed goods. Because we have been so focused, I decided, I was shown, I'm walking into that, but maybe our deeds are not truly good. So that's why, we need to examine ourselves in a daily basis. I told you in the past, several weeks ago, about that we are in the times that we need to put our house in order. And when we think of putting our house in order, because it's exactly that, sometimes maybe we have been so blind, focusing in the good things we are doing, but not looking in the bad things and in the wrong things that needs to be removed, solved, in order to have a clean house. And I think we will read even more in this chapter. That's the intention of YaHuWaH. Is YaHuWaH not in me? And if it's not in me, maybe because we have some idolatry, maybe there's an abomination, maybe it's something that maybe is not allowing his full presence to be within us. So it's good to analyze that group of people, this group of people, that generation, that other generation. But it's most important is to analyze our generation, and even more important than that is to analyze ourselves. Because how come we are going to demand or expect that this generation that we are living is going to be truly good, truly righteous, truly set apart, if we are not starting with ourselves? We need to start with ourselves, and we know we talked in the past about this. I don't even remember what was the name I put to this phenomena. But with the guy dancing, do you remember? But this is a spiritual concept. When there are two or three
doing something,
the rest will follow. So at least we need to begin with ourselves. Maybe another one will appear because YaHuWaH will do exactly the same thing with them. A third one will appear, and then the entire generation will change. And this is so applicable to everything. I'm not talking sometimes, and I have said this in the past as well. We have the tendency to separate the spiritual from the physical, and we cannot do that, because we are a spiritual and a physical, and also a physical being at the same time. The spiritual and the physical, and wow, it's important. The spiritual and the physical are being merged, are being joined. Do you know where? In us. He created us in such a way that the spiritual and the physical world are being united in us, in humans, because we are spiritual and physical at the same time. So we need to begin right away. We should not wait, because the spiritual will manifest itself through us. And if we really live in a spiritual life, cleaning ourselves, truly walking in righteousness, in the righteousness of the kingdom, things will happen in the physical through us, not because of us, because we are going to allow YaHuWaH to flow through us, and that will create a movement of his people to really walk in righteousness in these end times. But we need to begin individually and allow YaHuWaH to do the rest. And final word, the two ways, the good and the evil, life and death,
Yeah.
blessings,
Of course.
cursings, because
Of course.
and curse. If we follow righteousness or the way of life, then I shall let you dwell in this place, in the land that I gave to your fathers forever and ever. Okay? Something else you want to add? No? Let's continue. See, you are trusting in false words, which do not profit, stealing, murdering, and committing adultery, and swearing falsely, and burning incense to Baal, and walking after other mighty ones you have not known. And you came and stood before me in this house, which is called by my name, and said, we have been delivered in order to do all these abominations. Is exactly what we were saying before. Has this house, which is called by my name, become a den of robbers in your eyes? Look, even I myself have seen it, declares YaHuWaH. And when Yahushua,
I was saying the same to the Pharisees.
he was remembering most probably what was written here. He was quoting Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Because again, the attitude of the people of Yehuda in the times of Yirmiyahu was exactly the same attitude of the people of Yehuda in the times of Mashiach. And it's sad to say, but I think it's the same attitude that we see here in this world today. You know, as you said, I have this place, I have been chosen for this, I'm the best in this
I'm going to the church,
situation.
I'm doing this.
But they are doing everything and anything that could be an abomination and idolatry to YaHuWaH. Okay? But go now to my place at Shiloh. And this is interesting because this is connected, as we discussed, connected to the question here.
Yeah.
But go now to my place at Shiloh, where I set my name at the first, and see what I did to it because of the evil of my people Israel. And now, because you have done all these works, declares YaHuWaH, and I spoke to you, rising up early and speaking, but you did not hear, and I called you, but you did not answer. I shall also do to this house, which is called by my name, in which you trust, and to this place which I gave to you and your fathers, as I did to Shiloh.
So imagine if there was a place that was dedicated to him, it has like a blessing over it. But it was because of their ways that he took away that blessing. So there is no guarantee. And I think that's why he's always mentioning, take care about your crown, that nobody's going to steal it. So that means that is the bad side that is going to maybe put us into trial, and at some point, maybe even though when we are very sure about what we feel and how is our commitment with YaHuWaH, we are going to be tested. And it could be maybe at the end. It could be in the middle. It could be at the beginning. So nobody has that guarantee. No, I'm going to be and I'm going to feel all my life the same way that I'm doing. And I think that's why he's telling at the end times is going to be a very big fall away. A lot of people are going to depart from his ways. So I think that, and from that, so nothing has that guarantee that is going to be perfect, and we can see that happen to Shiloh.
So, it's not 100% clear in the scriptures. And remember, we have been going through the study of those books already. What really happened to Shiloh? And just to remind all of us, what Shiloh? Shiloh was the place when Joshua ben Nun and that generation of Israel crossed the Jordan River, and they began conquering the land. They set the Mishkan, the tabernacle, in Shiloh. That was the place that was chosen before Jerusalem in order to establish the tabernacle with the Ark of the Covenant.
Shemuel was there because it was
Shemuel.
at Shiloh where Hannah was.
Samuel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when Hannah was praying.
Yes, that was the place. That was the place that where the Eli was serving with this his two evil sons and so on. So and we can find this in the book of Joshua, Judges, and Samuel. But it's not clear, completely clear from the scriptures, from the canonized text, what really happened. I remember that the Jewish traditions, they believe that it was a kind of a temple or a building was built in that place to replace the tabernacle before building the temple at Jerusalem. We don't find that information in the scripture. So how to understand when YaHuWaH is saying, I'm going to do, because of your evil deeds, I'm going to do to this place, to Jerusalem, exactly the same thing that happened to my place at Shiloh. And you know, it's so interesting, just a parenthesis. He's destroying his place.
And it was when the Ark of the Covenant was taken to the...
No. Check what I'm going to do because of your evil deeds to my place. It's like telling you, you know, you are doing so wrong that I'm going to destroy this place. That is my place too. So, in order to show them their evil deeds, he's destroying his place, a place that was dedicated for him. And I can see it from the point of view is that I cannot be among you anymore.
It could be one of the reasons why we have even diseases, because we know that we have diseases because of miracles, because we have weakness, but it also could be the result, and we know that it's the result, like being destroyed, the temple. Our body is going to suffer the consequences if we are not in the path, in the ways of YaHuWaH.
Yeah.
So
coming back to the point I wanted to make before this thing I saw, the only thing we see that he did at Shiloh, and I think is so relevant to what we're talking and to the question that we put as a title for this portion, if you remember, Eli was cursed, his house, because of the evil deeds of his son and because he did nothing. And that revelation was given to Samuel, Shmuel, and Samuel was the one telling Eli that that curse, that thing that was going to happen. So what happened when they were to war with the Philistine? The two evil sons of Eli took the Ark of the Covenant to the battlefield. And if you remember what happened with the Ark of the Covenant, and remember who dwells among the cherubim in the Ark of the Covenant?
YaHuWaH.
It's YaHuWaH. It is written in multiple places in the scripture. So what happened during battle? The two sons of Eli died. Then Eli died when he knew received the news. Actually, the pregnant woman of one of his sons delivered immediately the son, and I don't remember if she died or not. But what happened is that the Philistines captured the Ark of the Covenant, and they took it to Gaza, to that place. That was a place, you know, Wasa, that is written in the scripture. And there you have all the stories about the tumors, about these images that they put it in order to, because they have a lot of problems. And what happened with the Ark of the Covenant, we read this, I think, in the book of Samuel. It never came back to Shiloh. The presence of YaHuWaH departed from Shiloh, went to the nations, and it never came back to the same place. Because the Ark of the Covenant was in the house of a Persian, a man, I don't remember his name, for multiple years. And after that, when David was taken, or he was assuming as the king for the entire nation, for the 12 tribes, he decided to go and take the ark. And there is another story because they put it in a wagon and a person died because he thought that was going to drop, to fall down. And after many years, he decided to go again, but he went with the Levites in order to carry in the shoulders the Ark of the Covenant, and he brought it to Jerusalem, and he put the Ark of the Covenant in a tent because there was no temple
until the temple was built.
So that's the whole thing of the whole story we see in the canonized scripture, but we don't see destruction. But even with that story, is so relevant because what YaHuWaH did, because of their evil works, he removed his presence from that place and never came back to that place. So what will happen with us?
Well, I'm thinking, I don't know if something different about our first death that is so necessary. Everybody's going to die at one point, some before, some other later, but it's a natural destruction that we need to go through. And then he's going to destroy sin. So then we are going to be resurrected, and he's going to take only the good stuff. And that is what is going to be permanent. That is going to be in his presence. So I think that we can see also that death is a kind of destruction from our physical status, but it's the previous part. It's like Shiloh. He needed to have that destruction, but then he needed to have again the presence that he wants to share with us. He wants to be with us. So, and that is his focus. So we are going to see losing from our side. We are going to see destruction from our side, but he's doing that destruction with the intention of rebuilding and to rebuilding something that is going to be eternal. So how to see death and destruction. And I think it's the same there.
The ark being hidden. I love his design. Yeah. And it's so hidden in our bodies. In an interesting place. It's becoming even more interesting nowadays. Anyways, let's continue. And I shall cast you out of my presence, as I have cast out all your brothers, all the seed of Ephraim. So again, how, and you mentioned this message was intended and directed to YaHuWaH and the people of Jerusalem. And that's why he's making this comparison. If you don't change your ways and return to the true way, it's going to happen to you exactly the same that happened to the 10 tribes, to the northern kingdom.
They were dispersed.
And that's why, it's so applicable to us, because the northern kingdom committed the same mistake. And YaHuWaH was committing the same mistake and even worse. So
because he said they're returning to me, but with a fake heart.
Yes.
So it's like doing deeds, but with a fake heart.
And you do not pray for these people. That's a message for Jeremiah. Nor lift up a cry or prayer for them, nor make intercession to me, for I do not hear you. And this is such a warning. If we get to the situation of breaking completely the relationship we can have with YaHuWaH to this level, not even if the closer to YaHuWaH will pray interceding for us, he's not going to listen. And that's so relevant, because once again it's reinforcing the idea and the importance to have a personal relationship with YaHuWaH, where we are going to lift up our voice and he's going to listen to us. If we have done something wrong, we need to mend the ways in our relationship directly with him, because every time we sin and we do wrong, first we do it against him, and maybe depending on the mistake against others. So we always need to restore that relationship with YaHuWaH. And once again, as I said at the beginning, that's why it's so important those times of isolation and intimacy. between one and him. And it's so relevant also when we receive those signals, broadcasting signals, because it's somehow being attentive all the time to what are the thoughts and the words, because thoughts are words, the word of YaHuWaH coming into our mind and our hearts. Do you not see what they are doing in the cities of Yehuda and in the streets of Jerusalem? The children are gathering good, the fathers are lighting the fire, and the women are kneading their dough to make cakes for the sovereigness, the queen of the heavens, and to pour out drink offerings to other mighty ones to provoke me. Is it me they are provoking, declares YaHuWaH? Is it not themselves, and to the shame of their own faces? And this has happened throughout millennia.
Yeah.
You know, I think all of us, we have studied this in the past, the reference to the Queen of Heavens. This is coming from Mizraim, from Egypt. Isis or Ishtar is coming from all the time, you know, the Babylonians, Easter. It was, you know, it continued through the Catholic Church.
And they want to put the figure of Miriam, of the mother of Yahushua, as the Queen of the Heavens.
And even they call her like that, the Queen of Heavens, and I think they have prayers to the Queen of Heaven.
Yeah.
So we can see that the idolatry has survived millennia, centuries. And in the same way that, you know, at that time, this was completely applicable, and we see it applicable today. Because there are the same attitudes, the same behaviors, the same deeds.
And the interesting thing is that all the members of the family are participating in that. It's the children who are doing some part, the father is doing another, the mother is doing something else. So it's the whole family is going toward that kind of worship.
That's why we always need to question everything. We need to ask.
All the things that we are participating.
Yes.
All the traditions that we know. And then when we check about the origin of that, then check, is something that comes from YaHuWaH? Okay, I'm going to do it. If something that is not coming from him, so no.
So let's continue. Therefore, that said the Master, YaHuWaH, see, my displeasure and my wrath is poured out on this place, on man and on beast, and on the trees of the field, and on the fruit of the ground, and it shall burn and not be quenched. Thus said YaHuWaH Sebaot, the Elohim of Israel, add your ascending offerings to your slaughterings and eat meat. For I did not speak to your fathers or command them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Mizraim, about matters of ascending offerings or slaughterings. But this word I did command them, saying, obey my voice, and I shall be your Elohim, and you be my people, and walk in all the ways that I have commanded you, so that it be well with you. But they did not obey or incline their ear, but walked in the counsels, in the stubbornness of their evil heart, and went backward and not forward. From the day that your fathers came out of the land of Mizraim until this day, I had even sent to you all my servants, the prophets, daily rising up early and sending them. But they did not obey me or incline their ear, but stiffened their neck. They did evil more than their fathers. So let's stop there for a moment. You mentioned something interesting to me earlier. Maybe you should say it. Why his displeasure is going to be poured out in the place, on man, on beast, on trees, and on the fruit of the ground.
Because I think that all that is part of the blessing that we have, and he put it here to sustain us. So like the bees, because they're going to help us with the plowing and everything. The trees of the field is things that are going to provide us wood for doing our houses, and also for giving us shade when it's necessary. The fruit of the ground, and the fruit also. The fruit of the ground, what we are going to have for food. So at the end is also cursing us through the things that he intended us He intended to be a blessing for us. So he is taking everything away.
He's removing the blessing.
Yeah.
And in the other hand, looking at it from the other angle,
from the one that you saw.
When we do mistakes, and it is written in some places in the scripture, we contaminate the land.
Yeah.
We defile the land. And if the land is defiled, we are defiling everything that is in the land. Beasts, trees, everything become defiled. So everything needs to be cleansed. And I think this is exactly what he's saying.
And at this moment, animals are being corrupted because they're a mixture of animals that is so unbelieving. And also the food that we have is not something that was created by him. So everything is manipulated.
You mean now in this time?
Yeah. So at the end, everything that is going to be destroyed. Yeah,
it's so sad, and you will listen about that in the video. I want to share with you at the end. It's exactly what you said. Everything today is corrupted. Everything today is defiled. Everything we eat, the air is polluted. The water is polluted. Our own bodies are polluted because of pharmakia.
Yeah.
Even though that maybe we don't participate in pharmakia now, we did it in the past, and that somehow contaminated our bodies. So our land somehow is defiled, and we need to ask him to restore it.
Yeah.
And he's going to restore it, allowing us to participate in the cycle, in the natural cycle he has designed for this world. So sometimes he needs fire to restore everything. The reference to the slaughtering here, I think is so true, though I believe there is something more deep on what he's saying, and that require more study. He's saying, I didn't ask for it in the day I took you out.
Yeah, at that moment.
And that moment. The only thing he was asking is, obey my voice. If we read the message in the book of Shemot, Exodus, the message that Moshe received and delivered in the same day, in the day 15 of the first month, the same day when they came out of Mizraim, Egypt, the message was completely about obedience and also a reminder of what was the meaning of the day. That was going to be a remembrance throughout all generations, what YaHuWaH was doing. And even he was saying, and I think this is in the chapter 15 most probably, or 14 of the book of Exodus, that even when the son was going to ask in future generations what we're doing this, and they needed to remind those younger generations about what YaHuWaH did in the past for them. That's obedience. In any moment he asked, I need a offering, a sin offering. No, he was asking for your heart, obedience. All the rest will come later. And it's going to be part of serving YaHuWaH. It's going to be part of walking in the ways of YaHuWaH, in the way of righteousness and the ways of truth. But everything begin with obedience. Without obedience, how we are going to participate in the rest? If we are not obedient, but at the same time we participate in the rest, we become hypocrites. And we become those that we were reading before that are not truly following the ways of YaHuWaH, because we're doing it just with the lips and not serving YaHuWaH from the heart. Everything, it's the matter and the condition of the heart. If we are going to give our hearts to YaHuWaH, or we are going to retain some of the chambers of the heart for us, and maybe of the 4 chambers, 1 for YaHuWaH and the 3 for me. That's not the way he's looking for our obedience and our service. He wants to be owner of everything, and we need to give it all our hearts, the entire heart for him. One thing that it reminded me when I was reading this, from the day that your fathers came out of the land of Mizraim until this day, I have even sent to you all my servants the prophets, daily rising up early and sending them. But they did not obey me or incline their ear. 26. It reminds me of a parable of Mashiach, and I think we should read it quickly. It's in the book of Matthew, chapter 21. Verse 33. Here we have. So he said the following, Yahushua speaking this parable. Hear another parable. There was a certain man, a householder, who planted a vineyard and placed a hedge around it, and dug a winepress in it, and built a watchtower. And he leased it to farmers and went abroad. And when the season of the fruits drew near, he sent his servants to the farmers to receive its fruit. And the farmers took his servant and beat one, and they killed one, and they stoned another. Again he sent the other servants, more than the first, and they did likewise to them. And at last he sent his son to them, saying, They shall respect my son. But when the farmers saw the son, they said among themselves, This is the heir. Come, let us kill him, and let us possess his inheritance. And they took him, and threw him out of the vineyard, and killed him. Therefore, when the master of the vineyard comes, what shall he do to those farmers? They say to him, Evil ones. He shall bring them to evil destruction, and lease the vineyard to other farmers, who shall give to him the fruits in their season. Yahushua said to them, Did you never read in the scriptures, the stone which the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone? This was from YaHuWaH, and it is marvelous in our eyes. So, everything is connected. This parable of Mashiach, he is the word. He knew this. And this parable was, without doubt, somehow connected to what is written here. It's exactly the message that Yirmiyahu received. He sent the servants.
He was one of them who was beaten.
And even killed. And nobody obeyed the voice. And the son came later. They didn't obey the voice. But he always has a remnant. Because, at least a 10%. It is written in some places of the word. Received the message and repented. And came back to the ways of YaHuWaH. And that remnant should be us. Cleansing ourselves completely, and following completely the ways of YaHuWaH. And you shall speak all these words to them, though they do not listen to you. And you shall also call to them, though they do not answer you. And that should be the attitude of a true servant. Speak even if they don't listen, because we are following the instructions of our master, and call to them even if they don't answer.
No matter the result, we have to do what we were told.
We cannot put ourselves up front. It's not about us, it's about him. So if he's sending us to deliver the message, to deliver the good news, if we are receiving a thought, a word in a shape of a thought in our minds, and this is somehow impressing an action, we need to do it. Because that's what a true servant, an obedient servant, does. It's not, again, about us, it's about YaHuWaH. But you shall say to them, This is a nation that did not obey the voice of YaHuWaH their Elohim, nor did they accept instruction. Truth has perished and has been cut off from their mouth. Cut off your hair and throw it away, and take up a lamentation on the bare heights, for YaHuWaH has rejected and forsaken the generation of his wrath. Any comment?
He said that truth has perished. And I think that is, I was telling you, that today everything is fake. Everything has been transformed. It's even with this gender thing that people want to be something else. Why they don't accept what YaHuWaH creates? So, and why we don't have truth when we know that the lies are going to have always are going to open that wide door that is leading to death, and that is going to take us away from him. He cannot stand anything that is not truth. He is truth. So if we want to be with him, we need to learn and know that he is truth, and we need to belong to him. So we have to be equal to him. So, and when it says about cut off your hair and throw it away, then it's because here is the history. Here is something that is, it has the record, what is been happening. So I think that he was like saying, cut off your hair, like, okay, start over, like a new beginning. So take away everything that is contaminated and throw it away and burn it. So, I don't know. I was thinking about that.
Yeah, it's a good word. And what I can highlight here is YaHuWaH has rejected and forsaken the generation of his wrath. So when we talk and see the wrath of YaHuWaH, you know, the wrath is coming to a specific group of people. It's not for everyone. He has, in this case, we can see, I can see it, is that there is a generation of his wrath. It's a group of people of his wrath. Shaul was speaking about that, you know, how we are going to talk back to the potter if we are clay. If he decides to create vessels of wrath or vessels of salvation, righteousness. So, and this is exactly what he's doing in this time. You know, if we truly believe, and I think all of us here believe in what I'm going to say, if we truly believe that we are the last generation, if we truly believe that we are living in the generations of the fulfillment of the prophecies and the second coming of Yahushua, and the soon to be established kingdom of heaven here on earth, we need to recognize that YaHuWaH has been doing a split in this generation. I know that there are multiple generations living here, but I'm talking about the people living today. He has been doing a split throughout the last decades. And that split is people that are waking up to the truth, people that have decided and continue deciding to stay in the system of this world. And when I'm saying to the system of this world, I'm not talking only about how this world works in the financial system, the political system, and so on, because we need to understand that we are in slavery. We are not in the land that we're supposed to be. It's like Daniel being in Babylon. It's like Israel being in Mizraim. It's like even the generation of Yahushua in his first coming, that they were under the Romans. We are under slavery, physical. So the split that I'm talking about is that he has been waking us up to the truth. One example, seeing what's going on with the food. So is everything contaminated? Okay, what he's inviting us is to, with the wisdom he has given us and the light he has shown in us throughout these years, is to make a conscious decision to remove ourselves as much as we can, because we are not going to be able to do it alone. He is going to help us. And in the same way that he did it in the past, he, in one moment, he's going to remove us completely from the slavery, as he did it with Israel in Mizraim, as we were discussing a minute ago. But are we going to continue with our cross arm, doing nothing, knowing that we should not partake with things that are wrong? Not at all. Not at all. We need to do as much as we can in order to walk in the light and walk in the truth. And I just gave you one example with food. Let me give you another example, and we talk about that. Idolatry, customs, traditions. Are we going to continue with those traditions that now will receive the light, that are not good before the eyes of YaHuWaH. Because if we continue doing it, it's basically taking exactly the same example I gave you, is giving one chamber of our hearts to YaHuWaH and keeping the other two, the other three. Okay, let's be more than just giving to YaHuWaH 2 chambers and we're keeping 2. No, let's give three chambers to YaHuWaH and 1 chamber for us with a string in the heart. No, that means that we have pride within us. We need to, as Yahushua said, we need to deny ourselves and we need to follow him. Denying ourselves is give it all. And that's a decision we are making on a daily basis. It's day by day. We cannot think about the future because we are nothing. We don't know what's going to happen even in a minute from now. We cannot think about the past. Okay, the past should help us in order to not to make the same mistakes and to do the same good things that we did in the past and even better. What we need to make sure is the time that he's giving us now, today. That's why Shaul was speaking that salvation, today is the day of salvation. What he intended to say is that now is the time that we are going to speak the truth, that we are going to serve YaHuWaH with all our hearts in righteousness and truth, and we are going to do deeds and actions and works that are works and actions and deeds of truth and righteousness. Now, not tomorrow, now, in the present. Okay? So, let's continue. For the children of Yehuda have done what is evil in my eyes, declares YaHuWaH. They have set their abominations in the house which is called by my name to defile it. And they have built the high places of Tophet, which is in the valley of the son of Hinnom, to burn their sons and their daughters in the fire, which I did not command, nor did it come into my heart. Therefore see, the days are coming, declares YaHuWaH, when it shall no longer be called Tophet, or the valley of the son of Hinnom, but the valley of slaughter. For they shall bury in Tophet until no room is left. And the corpses of these people shall be food for the birds of the heavens, and for the beasts of the earth, with none to frighten them away. And in the cities of Yehuda and in the streets of Jerusalem, I shall make to cease the voice of rejoicing and the voice of gladness, the voice of bridegroom and the voice of the bride, for the land shall become a waste. You remember what was the message of this video I'm speaking about? It's about depression.
Yeah.
The voice of rejoicing and the voice of gladness. By keeping something that is not good or removing what was good. So, I don't know, you want to mention something here before we finish?
Well, the meaning of the Tophet means a fireplace, and the valley of Hinnom means lamentation. So
Hinnom, hell.
Yeah.
Gehenna.
Yeah. So like the suffering, like the continual, eternal suffering. And well, I cannot avoid having that image in my eyes. I remember what happened on October 7th about the attacks that they were happening in Jerusalem.
In Israel.
In Israel, yeah.
October 7th.
October 7th. And nobody talks about, it was sad, of course, but nobody talks about the festival that they were celebrating. It was a complete something that is not according to YaHuWaH. I think that I'm not saying that he's like was taking vengeance and okay, I'm going to destroy all these people. No, but if we are not doing things that are according to his way, if we are opening doors to something that he's hating, I think that he's going to do something. I know that we are provoking him. So I remember they have a big Buddha there. They have a lot of images and people who were just having this very the words in the songs that now this generation are listening is really bad. It's really something that is against YaHuWaH. So we have to be very careful about what, and it says, the abomination, and they burn their sons and their daughters into that fire. So if we are not taking care about what the generation that are coming, what they are looking, what they are listening, what they are letting enter into their temple, those are going to be also fathers and mothers who are sacrificing their sons and daughters into that fire, the fire that is the wrath of YaHuWaH. So I think that is something important to consider.
So last thing I can mention here in this chapter is about a clear example, or a clear reference more than example, of the abomination of desolation that Daniel was speaking about, the Mashiach was speaking about, and it's here, you know. They have set their abominations in the house. Yahushua said, when you see the abomination that lay waste, set up in the set apart place. So abomination being set in the house is being here, which is called by my name, to defile it. So the abomination is causing defilement. And what's the end result of YaHuWaH deciding that he is till here? What comes?
It's destruction.
Desolation. He said, I'm going to destroy everything. Fire that is not going to be quenched. Is desolation. Abomination in the house that will cause desolation. So, you know, once again, if our bodies are the temple of the Ruach HaKodesh, and they are, and the Ruach can dwell within us, we should be so cautious on not bringing abominations into this house through any of the gates, because this house can become defiled, and the Ruach is HaKodesh, is set apart. It's not going to dwell in a contaminated, a defiled place. What's going to happen is exactly as we were reading what YaHuWaH said, I'm going to do to this place the same thing that I did to my place at Shiloh. What we said is that happened is that his presence departed from that place and never came back. So it's true that YaHuWaH is so patient that he gave this instruction through, and this word through Yirmiyahu, when he was patient enough. And the people didn't want to listen and didn't want to repent and come back from their evil ways. He waited. It doesn't mean, and why I'm saying this, it doesn't mean if we have brought some abomination into this temple that he immediately will remove his presence and his Ruach from us. He will give us dreams. He will give us words through his written word. He will give us revelation through people. He will speak directly to our hearts through our thoughts in order to tell us, you need to do something.
Maybe at the beginning we are not going to even consider that, but he's going to let us know.
Correct. It's going to be a conviction in our hearts that yes, he's speaking to me. I have to do something. And we have gone through situations like that. All of us will go through situations like that, and I can assure you that in this time and age, it's happening even more stronger. YaHuWaH wants to prepare you, all of us, to have a clean house, because he's going to do something. I believe, and I have been telling you this since last year, that an outpouring of the Ruach HaKodesh will come, and it will come soon, and it's going to be part of what needs to happen in these end times. How the Ruach is going to be poured out in this temple if this temple is not clean and prepared. Maybe he already gave us the Ruach, and the Ruach is dwelling in us. And what he's trying to do in this time is to cleanse us and to purify us because of what we have to do in these last times of this age. So YaHuWaH always gave a message of hope and expectation. He will never bring a message of destruction because of a mistake. He will bring a message of repentance, and as we saw earlier, a message of obedience if we disobey him purposely, and we continue disobeying purposely, and we continue, the story is different. So that's why it's so important that we examine our lives in a daily basis in order to see if there's something that we need to repent and come back and restore. That's the way that we are going to wash our feet, our hands, in the same way that the Kohanim, the priests, were in need to wash their hands and their feet before getting into the place to serve YaHuWaH in the tabernacle. That's exactly what we need to do. We need to examine our lives in a daily basis in order to be found worthy and be found clean. Let's move on.
Okay. At that time, declares YaHuWaH, they shall bring the bones of the sovereigns of Yehuda, and the bones of its head, and the bones of the priests, and the bones of the prophets, and the bones of the inhabitants of Jerusalem, out of the burial sites, and shall spread them before the sun and the moon and all the hosts of the heavens, which they have loved, and which they have served, and after which they have walked, which they have thought, and to which they have bowed themselves. They shall not be gathered, not buried. They shall be for dung on the face of the earth. And death shall be preferred to life by all the rest of those who remain of this evil people.
But you see, sorry to interrupt you, but you see that generations that are already passed away, they're taking all their bones. This is instruction. Because they were idolatrous people, and this is not going to happen only to the living generation, also the ones from the past.
Yeah, and what it called my attention, it says, they shall not be gathered nor buried, they shall be for dung on the face of the earth. Then I was thinking, yeah, they're not living anymore, they're like destroyed somehow, they're very, they're not nice to watch or be near. So, but they, even though in that condition, they said they have a purpose, that they have returned some nutrients to the earth somehow.
I was thinking exactly the same, you know. I was going to mention that, I don't know if everybody knows, but what's the process of to making compost?
Compost, yeah, I was thinking about that.
You know, Lillian and I, and it was a kind of discussion after the video, is that how to bring the nutrients back to the soil, and to avoid, you know, all this pesticide, herbicide, and anything that is not natural.
Yeah,
is by participating in the natural cycle. What's the natural cycle is making compost, and I like it, Camila, the circle of life.
Yeah,
is to making compost. And you know how compost is what's the process of compost? It's basically you put all the trash together, natural ones, all the trash together, and you need to cover it in order to avoid the flies and so on, and the odors.
You can put some hay over
put some hay over there on top in order to cover it, and you keep it there, and time will do everything.
Yeah.
But what's happening inside is that, microbes, worms, bacteria are begun to grow in this kind of body of trash. And not only that, what is going to increase is temperature.
Yeah.
It's like they began burning itself with high temperature. And because in higher temperature is when these microorganisms grow and live. And are those microorganisms that begins to eat everything, and then it being transformed to nutrients, to compost, which is rich in nutrients for the soil.
Yeah.
So what he's doing here is exactly that. Even though that it could be contaminated, and maybe I'm gonna say something that for some people it's gross, but I think it's part of the circle of life. You can do the same with a system that is called Humaner. And if you don't know about what I'm talking about, just type in YouTube instead of looking for the nonsense. Search for some things that are going to bring some important information about the circle of life. Humaner. You can do exactly the same with what everybody said is wastes, and it can be transformed in soil. And it's exactly the same process. So even though the things are being contaminated in our eyes, even things are being defiled, YaHuWaH has created such a wonderful system that through temperature and through even the microorganisms living in the soil are going to take that things that are being defiled, are contaminated, they are going to remove and kill all the bad bacteria and are going to transform in a good soil full of nutrients in order to continue the circle of life. He's not destroying.
Yeah, he's transforming.
He's transforming.
Yeah, so that's his beauty. Yeah. And I forgot where I was.
That was the last one. Yeah.
Okay. And that shall be preferred to life by all the rest of those who remain of these evil people, who remain in all the places where I have driven them, declares YaHuWaH of hosts, YaHuWaH Sebaot. And you shall say to them, thus said YaHuWaH, would they fall and not rise? Does one turn away and not return? Why then has this people Jerusalem turned away in a continual backsliding? They are threatened in deceit. They refuse to turn back. I have listened and heard. They do not speak right. No man has repented of his evil, saying, what have I done? They all turn to their own course, like a horse rushing into battle. Even a stork in the heavens knows her appointed times, and a turtle dove and a swallow and a thrush guard the time of their coming. But my people do not know the right ruling of YaHuWaH. He's comparing even to the birds. That even the birds, that maybe we consider that they're not that intelligent, they're more intelligent than human beings.
Because they are more connected to this system, natural system that YaHuWaH has created, meaning that they're more closer in terms of a feeling and connection to this natural cycle and more closer to YaHuWaH. We are so bombarded and so...
And it says they are threatened in deceit. The seed is among us.
Yes. And we are living in the seed and we don't want to open our eyes. And the first way to do it is asking question. Why? I'm questioning. Why am I doing this? Where this began? Why I'm eating this way? Why I'm in this place?
It's like becoming a child. When they are asking all the questions, it's the same. We have to be like children. So, and it says, turn back to the origin, turn back to the Creator, turn back to YaHuWaH.
They know the righteousness. We don't know the right ruling of YaHuWaH.
And you know what is the birds? They know when something is going to change. They begin to do. They know about danger. They give the alarm sound to the rest of the family that they have. They eat all that they need, but they're not greedy. And YaHuWaH is always going to be providing for them. So, and I remember that Yahushua was saying, if YaHuWaH is caring about the birds of the heavens, how much more are you not going to be important to YaHuWaH? Nothing is going to lack if we are in His ways. So, okay. How do you say we are wise and the Torah of YaHuWaH is with us? But look, the false pen of the scribe has worked falsehood.
What do you think on this?
That sometimes is what we think. That maybe we think that we understand some stuff. And when it says the false pen of the scribe has worked falsehood, well, I'm thinking about especially when there are some people interpreting the scripture. When they are making some maybe some studies and they are trying to provide maybe their point of view, and they are twisting some things. It's like when Peter was saying that everybody was maybe twisting the words of Kepha. But so the words of Shaul. Yeah, so things like that. And
we need to be careful on what we read.
Yeah.
And we need to read it even
between lines.
The scriptures. Yeah. Because we have inherited the scriptures. We can find some mistakes sometimes.
Yeah.
But what is true, and we need to that should be our certainty, is that His message
is still there.
Is behind the lines.
Yeah. And you can perceive it.
And you can perceive it.
Yeah.
And that message, together with the Ruach in you, is going to confirm the word. We need to study all, we need to read all, but always through the lenses of the truth that we see in the word of YaHuWaH.
Because I have seen that sometimes when we learn about some, I don't know, a passage, a book, a prophet, some words, we understand what it says. But we can see and maybe watch a video in some other place, the same passage, the same scripture is going to be interpreted with another purpose, or with it's going to be just taking this part and it's going to be taken out of context. So
it would depend on the translations too.
And then a new interpretation is there, and some people are going to believe that, and they're going to think, oh, YaHuWaH was saying this and that, and they are not reading the entire book. So that is what I think. And the wise shall be put to shame, they shall be broken down and cut. See, they have rejected the word of YaHuWaH, so that wisdom do they have.
So wisdom comes from the words of YaHuWaH.
Yeah. And of the fear of Him. Therefore I give their wives to others, and their field to possessing ones. For from the least even to the greatest, they are all greedy for gain. From the prophets to the priests, all act falsely. Is what we see, especially.
Isn't it the same thing today?
Yeah, especially today.
All the focus in making more money.
Yeah. And
which is not bad to make money. To do business.
But it's as greedy.
But the greedy is to focus on that.
Yeah.
Even the forefathers, we see Abraham, they were having
a lot of blessing, riches.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and if you're using in the correct way, I think that is not bad. It's when you are doing with the purposes that you are using that. And they heal the breach of the daughter of my people, slightly saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace. Were they ashamed when they had done abomination? No.
Maybe this is so connected to this phrase in the Thessalonians written by Shaul. When they say peace and security, sudden distractions will come upon them.
Yeah.
And so connecting both passages, because this peace that they're talking, somehow is connected to abominations. So it's a fake peace connected to idolatry, abominations, that basically will bring exactly distractions that we have seen here, because peace, all these people that are lying, they're saying that, they're following Elohim, peace, but there is no peace. And exactly the question, were they ashamed when they had done abomination? No. And they continue doing abominations till now.
Yeah. They were not at all ashamed, nor did they know how to blush. So they shall fall among those who fall. They shall stumble in the time of their visitation, said YaHuWaH. I shall snatch them away, declares YaHuWaH.
That's the rapture, right?
Yeah, that's the rapture. There are no grapes on the vine, no figs on the fig tree, and the leaf has faded. And what I gave them shall pass away from them. Why are...
You know what is... So sorry, just to make some reference to that. You know that I believe in the rapture. I have said this in the past. What I don't believe is in the pre-tribulation rapture. I think we all go through tribulation. It's going to be the final refinement. Though I also believe, and I have shared this with you about the three groups of people. I think one group of people represents Jerusalem, and that group is going to be protected. Could be the 144,000, maybe, we don't know. Do we belong, to what group do we belong?
We don't know.
This is in the hands and the decisions of YaHuWaH. So, and I think, and at the end, when Yahushua will appear on the heavens, we are going to receive him on the earth. That's the way it is written in the word. But, some people refer to the rapture as snatching away. That's why it's interesting that it's written here. But in the context of what we are reading here, YaHuWaH is saying this snatch away is an evil one, to say so. Because he's talking about those in the previous verse. They are not at all ashamed. They don't know how to blush. They shall fall among those who fall. They shall stumble in the time of their visitation. I shall snatch them away. He's talking about these people that are doing wrong, are doing abomination. He's going to take them all away. How? With his wrath poured out. There are no grapes on the vine, nor figs on the fig tree, and the leaf has faded. So interesting to see, and again, I'm not trying to make the connection, so it's interesting to see the point that at least the snatching away he's talking about here is connected to the people that are doing wrong, that are going to disappear.
Yeah. I was thinking about the two trees, why he mentioned those.
Actually,
the vine and the fig tree.
Actually, the parables of Mashiach somehow is the same thing. He is allowing the wheat and the tares to grow together.
Yeah.
And at the end, when he's able to identify and not to damage the wheat, what he's removing first?
He's removing the...
I think he's removing the tares.
Yeah.
And send them to the fire.
The what? What is the name?
I think it's tares.
Tares? Oh, yeah, tares. Okay, yeah, but I was trying to... yeah.
He's removing that and sending and burning in the fire.
And then he's taking the grain.
So it's a similar pattern we see here.
Why are we sitting still? Gather yourself and let us go into the walled cities, and let us be silent there. For YaHuWaH our Elohim has let us perish and given us poisoned water to drink, because we have sinned against YaHuWaH.
Ooh. So we're under a curse.
Yeah. So we have sinned.
Uh-huh.
We looked for peace, but there was no good, and for a time of healing, but see, fear. The snorting of his horses was heard from Dan. All the land who shook at the sound of the neighing of his strong ones. Yesterday we have a shook. That I realized about that later. But they came and devoured the land and all that fills it, the city and those who dwell in it. For look, I am sending among you serpents, others which have no enchanter, and they shall bite you, declares YaHuWaH.
And when I saw this, I remember immediately.
The vaccine.
No, no.
I was thinking about the others that shall bite you.
I will show you an example.
Mm-hmm. Ah, yeah.
You see, it's exactly the same thing. Then, who swears by the slaughtered place swears by it,
Yeah.
and by all that is upon. You remember those were saying,
yeah.
"Oh, the Jejal, the Jejal,
Yeah.
the Jejal."
Yeah.
Serpents, brood of others. How would you escape the judgment of Gehinnom?
Yes, referring to the.
They were lying.
Yeah.
They were through words. They were guiding the people astray in the wrong path. And that's the whole thing on this chapter and in many others. So when I saw it in Jeremiah, it's so interesting because I once again I do believe it's a direct reference, and for the same reason, most probably Yahushua was naming them in this way. I'm sending among you serpents, others which have not enchanter, and they shall bite you.
Yeah. So at the
They
end,
will give you the poison.
Yeah, and at the end they're going to cause you pain. So at the end, they have no enchanter because they don't they don't have somebody who is giving them orders or giving the instruction how to behave. So at the end, they're doing things by themselves.
And about what you thought about the injections, it's a similar thing, and we talked about that last year. What you allow to go into the temple.
Yeah.
Words are coming through the ears. Actions are coming through the eyes.
Yeah.
Food is coming through the mouth. In the past, there was not this ability to inject things into the bloodstream. It was coming from the mouth or from the nose.
Yeah.
Now they have the ability to go directly to put abominations and contaminate this temple through injections.
Yeah. When in grief, I could seek comfort. My heart is sick within me. Observe the voice, the cry of the daughter of my people from a distant land. Is YaHuWaH not in Tsiyon? That's our title today. Is her sovereign not in her? Why have they provoked me with their carved image and with foreign worthlessness? Sorry. The harvest is past, the summer is ended, and we have not been saved. For the breach of the daughter of my people, I have been broken. I have grown sad. Astonishment has taken hold of me. Is there no balm in Gilad? Is there no healer there? Why has the healing of the daughter of my people not come? And we know who is the healer. It's Yahushua.
So I think what is interesting is talking about timings.
Yeah.
The harvest is past. The summer is ended. And we have not been saved. And why they have not been saved? It's because of abominations,
that is
disobedience, and so on. You know, it's an interesting passage. I think it's everything connected to the times we are living. It's contamination, people deceiving with words, biting us. You know, everything into curse, the water contaminated, food contaminated. Actually, I'm looking for it, but in one moment it says it is written, you know, he's giving me water that is a poison.
Yeah, I think that is up.
So I think it's exactly what was going on. And that's why, I think it's so relevant, even as poisoned water to drink, because we have sinned against YaHuWaH. So that's why it's so relevant what we say at the beginning, is that we need to make a conscious decision as much as we can to remove ourselves from the wrong circle of life. Is the circle of death.
Yeah, the other one.
Yes. It's to remove ourselves from the circle of death and to change and to move out and move in into the circle of life. And that's interesting, because we are living this life and we have the two ways, is the two circles, the two systems. The two systems are available, and needs to be a conscious decision in what system we are going to live. As I said, we are in slavery. There are certain areas of our life that we are not going to be able to be removed completely. Who is going to do that? Is Yahushua. He's coming. He's going to destroy the other system, and he's going to reinforce the true system of righteousness, right ruling, and blessings. But in the meantime, in order to prepare the way of the return of Mashiach, in order to prepare the land, the soil, our temples, we need to do everything in our hands in order to move out from that other circle. Was an interesting portion.
Yeah,
like
it was a good one.
I'm going to look for the video I have been telling everybody. Just give me 1 second. I need to.
Is it right?
Yes, thank you. And I think it's this one.
Yeah.
Sure.
And when you see it later, then you're going to see that there is a lot of connections in the way that we live, and how to make those connections with the spiritual parts.
So this video is going to make more sense to the people that we have the chance to share some studies in our second trip to the States last year, when we were began studying and talking about the inner being. Okay, and for those of you that remember that study, and I have pending to share it here in the channel, I think the time is coming, and it's urgent to do it. It will resonate through this video. Things that we discussed back then, taking a look directly on the word of YaHuWaH and what is our inner being. So, I don't know if you have heard about this Dr. Berg in YouTube. He has a channel with multiple people. He's speaking about natural medicine and ways of eating good food and things like that. And I saw this video yesterday. This title is a new one. I think he just put it out recently. And the title of the video is the title of the video is "Fix Your Gut with 1 Microbe." And the subtitle of the video is "Your gut is depressing you." And when I saw it, for me, the gut are so important when we talk about the inner being. Is that I watched the video and I was somehow mind-blowing, because everything he speaks is something that we were discussing, some of the things in the study of the inner being, and also what he's recommending is something that we should analyze and maybe try it. So I want to share the video with you. Take a look. I think it's good information. And what I said at the beginning is that it's what I told you this morning when we watched this video, we see darkness increasing, and we have been saying this for a while, in people, politics, actions that people is doing everywhere. Pure evil is growing, massively. But at the same time, I've seen that YaHuWaH is doing something so beautiful. It's not massive. Remember, it's a remnant. And he's revealing truth about our inner being. He's revealing truth about our bodies. As I said before, we are let's say, the gate or the merge between the spiritual and the physical. And the spiritual of YaHuWaH will manifest through us. Actually, evil spirits also could manifest through us. And that's something we need to see through human being, I mean. So when I saw this video, our discussion was, I see YaHuWaH is revealing these things in order to prepare his army and his people to make the right decisions, to function as he intended, that he designed us to function. And he's doing it, progressively and in different ways, in different people that maybe sometimes they don't have even a background on the scriptures and in the word of YaHuWaH, but he's revealing those things anyways. Because he is bringing that light, so we are able to take it and to make the right decisions, as we said during the portion, to remove ourselves or to move out from the circle of death and to move in to the circle of life. And putting this in the words of the scripture is to moving out from the way of death and to moving into the way of life. Moving out from the way of the path of curses and moving into the path of blessings. And why he's doing that? Because I told you there is a split happening in the last few decades, in these last days, where maybe it's going to be in a small group, but that small group, he's preparing that group in order to have an important role in these last days. And it's in that group when we will see an outpouring of the Ruach HaKodesh, when we will need to have an important decision to make, and we will have an important role to play in these days to bring light, to bring the righteousness, to prepare the way for the return of Mashiach. So I will invite you to take a look in this video, remember what I have said now, and look at this information from a scriptural point of view, and from the inner being point of view, and what is our role as the children of light. Having said that, any final words?
No, I don't want to give a spoiler, but for instance, like when you hear the words, don't
give spoiler.
No, but iron and copper, maybe you can look the scriptures that it mentioned in the words of YaHuWaH when he talked about iron and copper. But
I think in this one he's not talking about iron
it's not
and copper.
About
it's
that. In the other one, okay. But it's interesting that when we see that we can improve some things, like taking supplements or things like that. The supplements were already given time ago, and it was coming everything in the creation of YaHuWaH. The issue is that we have lost a lot of those blessings, and that's why we are needing all those, and we need to recover those blessings.
Absolutely. So having said that, I think we are going to keep it like till here. We took more time, but it was good. And like always, we're going to finish with this is so funny, I think this last song is so connected to everything we have said. You know, okay, and this is the rest. You will understand me when I put the song. But anyways, thank you so much once again for being with us, for your love.
Yeah, we are not going to do maybe a last prayer, but we can do that because it was a sister YaHuWaH who was asking if we can pray for Jeremiah, the son of Sheila and Rob. But maybe we ask you, everybody at your home today, if you can keep him in your prayers so he can be guided by YaHuWaH, and he can also take always the part that YaHuWaH wants, how he wants to use him. Because I know he has a lot of a very big audience, so that's the moment that he can use it for the work of YaHuWaH. Yeah. So keeping him in your prayers too.
It's a good word. So again, thank you so much for being with us, for your love, for continuing with us through these studies that I think are becoming so relevant in these times. And there is no doubt that YaHuWaH will continue revealing to all of us more truth. The only thing we need to do is to be obedient, to get closer to Him, is to build a strong relationship with YaHuWaH, especially in these times. So having said that, thank you so much. YaHuWaH be with you all. Shabbat Shalom. And hope to see you next week.
Abba willing. Shabbat Shalom.
Bye-bye.
שלא שכחת את עמך, רואים שלא הרפאת מלהגן, ודרכנו יום יום מכוון, אפילו שדחינו את בנך ולא שמענו לכל קריאתך, אפילו שעברו אלפי שנה, סומכים אנחנו על הבטחתך. לא אבדה תקווה לראות את ארצך בוערת בתשוקה, קוראת ברוך הבא לראות מס ומוסר ודמנו משוחרר ומהשערים פתוחים לבואך. לא תחזי לאדמך כי רצונך הוא להושיע את עמך ולהראות את חסדך ולהגיד את המילה האחרונה. שוב תאחר ושוב תכבוש כשנקרא ברוך הבא ברוך בנך, ואז תשפוך את רוחך. הסוף ידוע כבר מההתחלה. שכחת את עמך, רואים שלא הרפאת מלהגן, ודרכנו יום יום מכוון, אפילו שדחינו את בנך ולא שמענו לכל קריאתך, אפילו שעברו אלפי שנה, סומכים אנחנו על הבטחתך. כי עוד לא אבדה תקווה לראות את ארצך בוערת בתשוקה, קוראת ברוך הבא לראות מס ומוסר את דמנו משוחרר ומהשערים פתוחים